Today, we're going to be diving into the history of Max Verstappen in Formula Racing, looking at his sporting achievements and seeing which sports cards have come out during those years. If you're new to card collecting, then this video should be an excellent guide to see which cards to focus on. And if you're interested in this kind of content, then please check out my other videos on the channel, as we've already covered Lewis Hamilton in this kind of format. We start off after Max's karting days, when on the 19th of April 2014, Verstappen debuted in F3 for Van Amersfoort Racing. At this point, Max was only 16 years old. Nearly 4 months later, on the 12th of August 2014, Max signed as a Red Bull junior driver after showing lots of promise, technical ability and raw speed. And only a few days later, on the 18th of August 2014, Max was announced as an F1 driver for Toro Rosso for the 2015 season, still only 16 years old. This was pretty unheard of at the time, because very rarely do drivers skip Formula 2 and go straight into F1 from F3. 2 months later, on the 19th of October 2014, Max finished his first and only season of F3 in 3rd position, with 10 race wins, only beaten by older drivers Tom Blomqvist, aged 21, who finished 2nd, and Esteban Ocon, who was aged 17 and won F3 that year. During this period in 2014, no one was producing sports cards for Formula 1, let alone Formula 3, so unsurprisingly 0 sports cards can be found for Max Verstappen in these prospect years. He did release a card on his official website of him in 2014 in the F3 season, but this is more of a postcard size than a trading card and is extremely rare to find anyway. On March 14th, 2015, Max Verstappen debuted in F1 for the first time and became the youngest driver ever on the grid at 17 years old. This was the start of his rookie season in F1. At the end of the season, Max had finished in 12th place for Toro Rosso, scoring 49 points, but impressively beating his teammate Carlos Sainz, who managed 19 points and finished 15th overall. For the 2015 season, we still didn't have a full producer of F1 sports cards, but we did see one Max Verstappen card come out for Toro Rosso. The Top Speed 2015 sticker album magazine had most of the F1 drivers on the grid for that season, including as stickers in their publication. These are stickers rather than cards and weren't released 100% in English, but their value in today's market is quite high and can't be questioned. Only 2 Verstappens have been known to be graded with PSA, one a PSA 5 and the other a PSA 6. The PSA 6 sold in February of 2024 for £3,313. In 2016, Max Verstappen started the season with Toro Rosso, but 6 races in, he was announced to be replacing Dani Kvyat as the main Red Bull seat for the Spanish Grand Prix. And on the Spanish Grand Prix, on the 15th of May 2016, Max Verstappen won, becoming the youngest ever driver to win a race at 18 years old and on his debut for Red Bull. It was his only win in that season, but he added 6 podiums to his name, and by the end of the season, on the 27th of November, he finished 5th overall for Red Bull. In 2016, we only saw one card for Max, but the first official Topps card. This Top Trumps card is considered to be Max Verstappen's official rookie card from his first season. However, collectors can be mixed on this opinion, as it's from a Top Trumps game set, so it's seen more as a playing card. To form your own opinions on this card, feel free to check out my video where I open this card for the first time. But still, for any Max fans, it's definitely worth adding to your collection because it holds very good value. A PSA 10 in this card can vary from anywhere between £500 to £2,000, and there's only 26 known PSA 10s out there. For the next year, Max developed further in the sport. In 2017, on the 26th of November, he finished 6th for the season with 2 more race wins and 4 podiums in total. Red Bull suffered technically that season, and the Mercedes dominance continued. Card-wise, it was still quiet for Max cards. The only notable card that year is his German Top Trumps card, where he has dual nationality on the card, which is much rarer than a 2016 Top Trumps card. At the time of recording, one of these is listed on eBay for around about £4,500 in a PSA 8. In 2018, Max developed even further, and on the 25th of November 2018, he finished the season in 4th, with another 2 wins and 11 podiums. Again, card-wise, one card, another German Top Trumps card for the 2018 season, but this card didn't hold much value, and a PSA 10 recently sold for about £80. And in 2019, we saw even more improvement, this time finishing off the season on the 1st of December 2019 in 3rd overall, with 3 wins and 9 podiums. However, 2019 was an awful year for card collecting in F1, so we saw 0 Verstappen cards. However, this all changed in 2020. Verstappen finished third for the season, improving again with another 2 wins and 11 podiums. And Topps had started producing Formula 1 cards. From this point onwards, there's thousands of Max Verstappen cards, so we're just going to focus on the key ones from each year. The main set of 2020 was F1 Chrome. This product is widely considered one of the best and most valuable F1 sets released in the modern era. The most collected cards for Max Verstappen are the portrait images. The base version, which in a PSA 10 is around about £180. The refractor version, which has a rainbow shine and is about £500. This card is also available in parallels that hold good value. This out of 399 parallel portrait image sold for £1,900 in a PSA 10. There's also a 70th anniversary version of the card which sells for around about £1,500 in the gold variation. The base image also has an image variation, which is much rarer than the main portrait, and a PSA 10 in this card is around about £2,200. There's also other inserts and base cards in the set, but their value is a little bit less than the portrait. Max also has an autograph for that year. The base autograph alone recently sold for £4,000 in a PSA 10. But the holy grail for Max Verstappen fans is this 1 out of 1 Superfractor in a PSA 9, which sold for £400,000 in 2022, but I'm sure right now is worth a lot more than that, as the Lewis Hamilton version of this card recently sold for over £1 million. The next set released in 2020 is Topps Now. These cards capture moments from time in that season. Max had 1 card in that year for his win in Abu Dhabi at the end. It isn't an expensive card, and at this point Topps didn't create parallels for Topps Now, but it does have a fairly low print run. Next we have TurboTax 2020, which is one of the first sets to come out that year. This is a lower end product and the card quality reflected that. However, some of the designs, especially the gold images and the limited editions, are good for any Verstappen collector. The gold image card is only worth about £5 to £25 depending on condition, but they are very hard to grade, so there are some good value attached to the PSA 9s and the PSA 10s when you consider this type of set. On the other end of the price scale is F1 Dynasty. This product cost around about £1,000 when it came out, and you only got 1 card for that price. These boxes are worth a lot more now. This product is very high end, and Max has various parallels and autographs and relics inside of this product. Some of the first relic patches and first autographs in low numbered cards can easily reach 5 figures or more. Finally, in 2020, we also got a Chrome Sapphire, which is practically the base set of Chrome, but in Sapphire versions of the cards. This product was far more expensive than Chrome 2020 when released, and there's a much smaller print run on the cards. However, the portraits are still the ones to chase. The Sapphire portrait in a PSA 10 sells for around about £200. The image variation around £600 in a PSA 10, and as you can imagine, the parallel coloured versions in this set also sell for good amounts of value. This 1 out of 1 refractor sold for £150k in 2024. In 2021, we saw an incredible F1 season, a title fight between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Verstappen eventually claimed his first world championship that year after a controversial final race in Abu Dhabi. That makes the 2021 Max Verstappen cards very desirable for a Max Verstappen collector, and most of the cards from that year aren't actually that expensive to collect. Topps Now continued that year, capturing every race of the season, and due to Max's involvement, we saw 21 cards for him in that year, including this nice throwback card to his first season with Toro Rosso. There's also parallel versions of some of these cards available. We saw another year of F1 Chrome in 2021. I recently opened a box on my channel, so go check that out if you want an overview of the set. And again, the driver portrait was the main card to collect from that year. But it doesn't hold anywhere near as much value as the 2020 cards do. But 2021 is a really good place to start collecting if you want to start collecting higher end F1 cards, especially for Max's first championship winning season. The base auto and parallel autos again are the most expensive from the set, and out of 75 autos sold in 2025 for around £800 in a PSA 9. But there's more expensive cards out there. We also had another year of Sapphire, matching the Chrome base with the autographs and the parallels at reasonable prices for this type of set. We also got a paper version or light version of Chrome 2021, which is a cheaper way to collect the images from that year. Dynasty dropped some more patches and autographs at the luxury price point, And TurboTax at the other end of the scale also released another set. We also saw a brand new set for that year called Lights Out, where Max features on a few really nicely designed cards, but nothing massively valuable. In 2022, Max dominated the season in the Red Bull, winning back-to-back titles. He won 15 out of the 22 races, securing his second title comfortably. As a result of the dominance, we saw Max feature on more and more cards in sets, and from winning the title in 2021, he was also allowed to change his number on his car to number 1 from 33. Firstly, TurboTax brought out a new set, but for me it was lacking in design. Lights Out brought out another set, and we saw some 1 out of 1 parallel plates, worth chasing. More notably, this image of Max holding his helmet. The main set Chrome released its cards for 2022. Again, none really came close to the value of 2020, but we did see some nice image variations and parallels. We also got a Sapphire version of the set, and another year of flagship, allowing you to collect the set for cheaper. This also included some lucky relics as well. Topps Dynasty had more expensive products come out, with signatures and patches to hunt for. And finally, Max featured on 16 Topps Now cards for that season, reflecting his strong performance. In 2023, Max in the Red Bull dominated, smashing numerous records like most points scored in one season, and won 19 out of the 22 races. This dominance comfortably gave Max his third title in a row. 2023 also had some really nice cards to collect for Max, although there were less sets than in previous years, but it was definitely more quality over quantity. TurboTax improved in design and had some nice Max cards to collect, a bit like this exclusive one focusing on his Dutch connections. Topps Now of course had plenty more Max cards showcasing the dominance, including some parallels in this year's set. And Chrome released 2023, which in my opinion is the best set to come out since 2020, and Max had 23 base cards, not including parallels and numbers variations. So it's definitely a good one for Max fans to start off with. If you bought a box of 2023, then I'm sure you'll see some Max cards inside every single one. The Sapphire version matched the same design as Chrome 2023 and had some really nice autographs and designs to collect. There was also the really nice expensive Sapphire selections. Dynasty also released some amazing low number relic cards, and Lights Out was replaced this year with a more luxurious Italian themed Eccellenza series set, which had really high card quality and great relic patches. This is one of my favourite sets. In 2024, Max's dominance was slightly under threat from Lando Norris in the McLaren, but as expected, Max pulled through and managed the 4th title in a row. 2024 was also a great year for cards for Topps. We got plenty of new sets and old ones renewed. Chrome released a new year of cards, including numbered helmet images, which ended up being some of the most expensive to collect in the set. Topps also released a subset called Logo Fractor similar to Chrome, which was the same set, but the F1 logo was printed on the card foil. These were definitely harder cards to collect, and the prices reflected that as well. Once again, we saw Chrome Sapphire, and we saw Eccellenza renewed with bigger patches, but the community still prefers the 2023 set over this one. TurboTax dropped again with some nice black edge cards this time, and a new set called Paddock Pass came out at a lower price than Chrome and contains loads of driver paddock images and variations to collect. There's some good shots of Max in here as well. And another new set called Finest came out as well, with some splash images of the drivers and of Max. We also saw some more Dynasty cards and some more Topps Now cards, including this 1 out of 1 autograph celebrating Max's 4th title. And finally, we come on to 2025, where it doesn't look like Max Verstappen will be winning the Drivers' Championship this season as the McLarens are too dominant. But he has committed to staying with Red Bull until 2026 now. But we have already seen some cards from Max in 2025. The most notable and expensive was the Lights Out 75 anniversary box. Max has some amazing images in this set and autographs as well. At £800 a box for 5 cards, these cards hold good value in the market, and Max is very hard to find inside this set. Max has also got some Topps Now cards out so far for the season, and we also saw a small custom set come out at the Fanatics Fest in New York, which has Verstappen on a card and will hold some good value due to its rarity. Now, all the main sets are out towards the end of the year, but we have already got TurboTax released now, which has some Diamond Edition parallels to find and some nice signature style cards. We will need to watch Max closely in the future and see where he decides to race, But one thing that is for sure is that Max is one of the greatest drivers in the sport, and in time we will see just how great he becomes compared to the others. Hopefully you found this video informative and helpful if you are a new collector especially. If you have any questions, just ask them down below, and thank you very much for watching. Do check out the other videos on my channel for more F1 themed content.